Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we see some pretty big news when it comes to Xbox, where Xbox is kind of going on this big crazy, I don't know even how to word it, basically just a big worry spiral going on when it comes to this huge acquisition. We're also now seeing one of the most anticipated games that I was personally excited for, falling and basically just getting even more drama and a lot more skepticism too as well. So we have a very big, good drama-filled video. If you guys like the drama, some people do, some people don't, it depends on the person, and we have a lot of things to go talk about. So if you guys will stay tuned, relax, and enjoy, and as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5. I was almost said I will sleep that. We're actually probably have another giveaway going on soon, or over there. Be on the lookout for that one. We also have the Target links, Amazon links, and everything else, and let's dive into the video. So, very first and foremost, we actually have some pretty big news when it comes to, well, Xbox. So, some people are actually kind of curious and skeptical on how this next Activision is going to go. We're seeing a lot of negativity when it comes to it too as well. A lot of people are concerned. A lot of people just kind of, I don't know, almost want to say anxious when it comes to the actual thing. But right now we're saying that right now, Xbox boss Phil Spencer, the big head honcho himself, is trying to go and almost downplay the importance of this huge merger, talk about how these issues are not that big, they can kind of sort through it, that Xbox is going to be fine right afterwards, and, well, people are a little bit skeptical, because don't forget how much money Xbox is worth, but as well how much money Activision, Call of Duty, Game Pass, the long-term future of Game Pass, and everything else might be, because don't forget if Xbox somehow gets blocked from buying out companies, that's been kind of been their big plan when it comes to things like Bethesda and everything else, and the fact of, well, if they can't do that anymore, they might be kind of slogging a little bit. So Xbox boss is now downplaying the importance of controversial Activision merger, where Xbox seems to be scared as of right now, saying that Phil Spencer seems to be trying to reassure investors that Microsoft doesn't really need Activision Blizzard. And don't forget, Xbox is a Microsoft subsidiary, so if this deal does not go through, that actually might go make the Microsoft stock price go down even more because people get scared. So in a new interview, Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, said that Xbox will exist even if its massive deal to buy up Call of Duty publisher Activision falls apart due to the continued and intense regulatory scrutiny and public pushback. And now this is actually been a little bit more skeptical than what we've seen so far. The past year or so, we've seen a lot of Phil Spencer going and bringing out that this deal's going to be fine, we have no issues, I have every faith in the world that this will be going fine and working and dandy and everything in between. And now this is the first time we've kind of seen them publicly be like, hey, it's okay if the deal doesn't go through, we're Xbox, we're fine, we're chilling. So basically it's been over a year now since this whole Microsoft announced the plan and the deal to go and get the game company Activision Blizzard, and since then, things haven't gone smoothly for all involved, as other tech companies and even nation states have continued to criticize the proposed mega big $70 billion deal. Xbox has promised to keep Call of Duty multi-platform. They have all the other Microsoft deals with Nintendo, when it comes to Nvidia, when it comes to Steam, then trying to work out one with Sony, but as of right now, people are still well sketch. So right now in an interview, it's seemingly sensing danger in the air. Xbox boss Spencer suggested that Xbox would actually be totally fine without Activision, which seems like a major change of the tune of Xbox spent the last 12 months on, suggesting that it needed Activision to grow and compete against Nintendo and Sony. So basically before they're trying to get the angle of, hey, if we deserve this deal. We're the smallest company between all of them. I just want to let everyone know that we're tiny. Let's go spend some money. We get some competition up in here, make things a little bit interesting. But now they're trying to go be like, hey, no, Microsoft's the biggest company pretty much in the planet. We're chilling, we're vibing, it's okay. If you don't get it, bygones be bygones. So it's almost like a complete tone shift over all this, especially with all the scrutiny we've been seeing. So talking to British paper The Times over the weekend, Spencer pointed out that the real reason, according to him and Xbox, that the company was trying to buy up Activision King was saying that it wasn't to snap up Call of Duty or to keep it off of platforms. He wanted the main purpose to be behind Microsoft catch up to more of the mobile market and eventually become a true competitor to Google and Apple. And that's also why I've been seeing Google themselves going to these filings and these public hearings and the EU and everything else, because they want to go and stop that the best they can, which I think is actually very, very intriguing, so keep that in mind. Because, Call of Duty is a big thing, but that's why Google also doesn't want it. So if you have Sony, huge company, and you have Google, huge company, going against Microsoft as of now, this doesn't really bode well for these anti-monopoly, antitrust laws. So what if the proposed deal and plans to make Xbox a true player in the mobile space falls apart? Well, then Spencer suggested everything would be fine, even if he admitted this was an important acquisition for Xbox. So no matter what, they are concerned. Like, you could tell. Like, he's trying to reassure everyone, reassure the Microsoft head honchos, reassure, like, the stockholders, because, like I said, Microsoft is a subsidiary of Xbox. And you want to know what? I'm sure everyone's going to be worried about this. Like, if this does not go through, I'm sure Microsoft, like, stock will probably go down. I'm sure Activision stock will literally free fall, because it's kind of being held up right now on the price points. And we'll have to kind of see. Like, it might be good for Sony at the end of the day, because it's good for them. But if, like I said, if you guys care about Xbox, the future of Xbox, or Game Pass, yeah, that's really not good if it doesn't go through. And only one of the first times we're actually seeing over here that things are actually becoming like negative. Like a lot of the things are like, no, it's going to happen. No, our lawyers are saying it's good. No, we're having some good talks. Things are going through. Look at us at Nintendo. This is the first time that they say where it's like, well, they're trying to be like nonchalant now. They kind of have the tone switch. So it is a little bit scary. I really think Xbox might be a little bit in trouble now with this Activision. It keeps getting closer and closer and closer with more information coming out. And it is something that I think a lot of folks are skeptical on, like myself included. I'm kind of indifferent. Like if it goes on Game Pass, I'm cool with it. If it stays on PlayStation, I'm cool with it. I'm a PC gamer at the end of the day, so I'm kind of just curious more on like the after effects of how it kind of affects things or price points or everything in between. So as I said, the spending on last year suggests that Xbox exclusives suck. So with this one, they need to go and be able to have something to go over here to compete with Nintendo and Microsoft and Xbox and everything else in between. So we can kind of go from there. But they keep saying like, yeah, we're going to be fine no matter what. But it does seem like Xbox, at least Phil Spencer, might be a little bit of trouble. And I'm sure the head honchos over here are not going to be happy if this doesn't go through. Now, and the same thing for a little bit more of Xbox controversy, which has been very on the controversial side these past few weeks, especially. My apologies on it, just how the news has been kind of going. Like I try to keep like just the titles maybe, but most of the time I think I'm pretty like level-headed, where it's like, yeah, they're gonna live no matter what, it's fine. But you know, stock prices would go down. People will talk about it. People will be like, oh, what's going on? So I hope you guys don't mind. I think it's interesting drama to talk about, at least nonetheless. But I also had this one thing called Atomic Heart. Now, Atomic Heart's been kind of a weird one, because for me, I actually was really hyped up for this game. I really wanted to play this game. I thought it was going to be a good game. Like, I was genuinely excited for it. And I played the first 3 hours, and the first introduction was really cool. I was like really, really impressed. I genuinely was impressed. I thought it was awesome. But then sadly, it kind of fell flat. Like I literally got to the point where I was like, I don't even want to play it. The environments are cool. The game was cool, but I was just like, the dialogue's whatever. And I just didn't care. Maybe I'll play a little bit more. I don't know. But I wasn't like the most in love with it. So say Monkfish apologized though, because they actually found out racist cartoons were somehow discovered in Atomic Heart. And this game has been having nothing but drama, especially with it being a Game Pass game, because we're now seeing things where they had like basically them apparently botting different social media accounts to go and basically promote out the game and push like certain agendas. That's been a huge rumor going on right now with Atomic Heart. And as you guys know, it's a Russian-based game for their game studio. Not the halt at the game was cool, but like it was a nifty one, I guess, at the end of the day. But they've actually had like a lot of just big negativity everywhere. So basically, they had apologized after footage of racist cartoons were found in their actual game. While the footage wasn't directly designed by Munfish, apparently, the cartoon concerned is a real Soviet Tom and Jerry-esque animated series called New Podogili that ran in Russia from the 60s, and there was basically just a lot of old school stuff that was just, it wasn't cool. Like, it was basically in the save rooms, and people were kind of curious on what's going on. And if you guys have also played the game, the ice boxes, we're getting a lot of people being like, what on earth is going on here? Like, this just doesn't fit the vibe of the game. It just seems weird. And there's also a lot of other strange and big negativity when it came to it, where, like I said, some folks were like even kind of making comments where it's like, what's going on? Like, so like you guys even see this one. The Ukrainian government wants to ban Atomic Heart from digital stores in Ukraine. Like, I mean, it's like a Russian-based game. And I think it's also like the idea and premise of like, this is like basically if Russia like won, you know, it's weird. So Alex Borinov, Ukraine's deputy minister of digital transformation, plans to send an official letter to Sony, Microsoft, and Valve to request the ban. And this is once again like this is a Game Pass game. So it kind of has a little bit more of a closer tie-in / contract with Xbox rather than like play. I mean, you could play it on these other platforms too. Like, I'm not gonna say they're not on fault, but it's a little bit more extra, I think, out there because it's literally tied to a Microsoft like individual contract. It's like, let's say someone's selling lemonade on your street versus someone selling lemonade that you gave them a contract law to go and sell on your street. It's a little bit different, if you know what I mean. So the news following controversies around Munfish and his game have basically been outlined a lot of different places. Like I said, there's been bots that have apparently been going on. There's like that weird like TOS where they're saying they're trying to go and like sell your information and they collect your information, and now we're seeing all this other stuff, and a lot of people were even just saying the game itself looked cool, like really cool art design, graphics, and it was okay. Like, I enjoyed the few hours I played of it, I guess, but it wasn't anything really that big or that crazy at the end of the day. So I kind of want to hear your thoughts and comments down below on all this drama, because it does seem like Xbox right now is like floating. Like they're just trying their best to keep their head above the water. And right now with these games literally being potentially banned in countries right now, for I guess maybe good reasons, it's like a Russian game. But at the same time, it's just crazy to go and see this everywhere. So give me your thoughts, give me your comments. There's been some kind of big drama news over here. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. Swing by the Twitch and Twitter down below if you guys want to, and the Target Amazon links too. And I appreciate y'all so much for watching in the first place.